Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a Should You Summon with the Part 2 Rose and Broly banner dropping in about 2 days, give or take a little bit of time, and whether or not they are worth it for you, and a little breakdown of the unit as well. So the first unit I want to talk about is the Broly, Chile, and Lemo. Shout out to the Dokkan Wiki for all of the information. So on this super attack, they greatly raise defense for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to enemy and lowers attack. On 18 key, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage to enemy. The passive is attack and defense plus 15% per key sphere obtained, plus an additional attack and defense plus 5%, and plus 2 key per key sphere with 2 or more physical key spheres obtained. So basically this means he is a nuke when he's collecting physical type key spheres. Attack plus 39% with 2 or more AGL or SDR key spheres obtained, so he can also potentially become a attack support unit. And all allies defense plus 39% with 2 or more tech or int key spheres obtained, so defensive support as well. And finally, he evades enemies' attack, including super attack, with 7 or more key spheres obtained. So you get 7 key spheres, he's dodging everything. I think that Broly, Chile, and Lemo are one of the most versatile units in the game. Just looking at their passive, like they're good in everything. They can hit hard, they can defend well as well, and they can support attack, and they still can support defense, and they can dodge everything. The biggest problem for them is they're on a low number of categories, which is just movie bosses and the joined forces. And I know a lot of the thirsty guys out there are after Chile as well, so just depends what you're after. I do think that they're a lot more interesting than Rose, but that's because they can be utilized in a lot of different ways. The links are looking reasonable, so I know that movie bosses has they have big bad bosses, shocking speed, fierce battle, and legendary power. With the link update, I wouldn't have a clue at how this unit's going to be looking, but I do think it's going to be interesting going forward. Then we got Goku Black, Super Saiyan Rose. So his super attack greatly raises defense for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to enemies, and greatly raises defense for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage to enemies. His passive skill is attack and defense plus 66%, plus an additional 6% attack with each key of the key meter up to 120%. Key plus 2 with each final blow delivered up to 6, and recovers 6% HP at the end of turn in which attack was received. He also has an active skill. Rage can be activated when HP is 66% or less, starting from the 6th turn, at the start of the 6th turn, and it can only be activated once. So basically, Rose is one of the units that can hit really, really hard, and he is going to be looking a lot better on global just because of the physical Goku Black's Easy A and the fact that he gives 3 key. Like, he's just from his passive, it looks like he's getting 6 key. And his categories, he's good on all of them. So Realm of Gods, Patara, Future Time Travelers, Kamehameha, Exploding Rage, Inhuman Deeds. Like, all of these categories you can run his team basically, and the future Patara extreme units, they all link really well. His biggest problem is that he does not take a hit before his super attacks. He only hits 66% defense, so he's very squishy before, but afterwards with the greatly raises, he's looking very, very good. Out of the two, I think that Goku Black is probably better, but I do think that Broly, Chile, and Lemo are probably more interesting. but it's up to you on how you want to play. If you like big numbers, Goku Black's probably the better unit for you. But the banner. So the banner for these units is the Goku, the Rose and Broly. Then we got Wrathful Broly, who's still a really good unit. Paragus, who becomes a good support unit. Then we've got the Godku, who's a good defensive unit against movie bosses and an orb changer, and he does seal. So he's reasonably well rounded. The Vegeta is good. He has a chance to stun, can hit quite hard against movie bosses. I think he's got a high chance to stun against movie bosses. But he is good. The Beerus is good after his EZA. The Whis are fodder. The Guasu is a good support unit for Patara, Realm of Gods, and everything he's on. He gives a defensive buff, and he can dodge, so he's quite good. The Int Zamasu is pretty good, not great, but good. And the SCR Zamasu is terrible, but he could potentially look at getting an EZA before the end of the year, because he does awaken from the AGL Rose medal, so that could be a factor in it as well. But the banner in itself is not great. Like, every unit besides the two new LRs you can get on any banner. I'm personally only going to be doing one multi into it because I would rather stay for the 350 million downloads. And I'd also like to talk about the banners that come after this, as I think that they probably have better things to look at. So the next banner that is expected to come is the Kefla banner. So you have chosen, so Kefla and Vardos are new. The Android 13, it's his first return. Android 17 has been around a lot. Same with Goku Black. This will be Hit's second return, so he came back on his first banner last year's Christmas banner, and this will be his third time. And Turtles has been very infrequent, but like, all of these units are better than majority of the other units. Hit can hit hard, but is very squishy. He doesn't have any defense, but he was the first to get a Korea leader, and he is a global exclusive. Was a global exclusive, global first. But like, 13 has gotten a huge buff thanks to the links. Android 17 has as well, probably not to the same extent, because a lot of his links will revolve around Android 18, because they do tend to be a good pair. But that's this banner. I do think that this one is better value, but even with this one, I'd probably only put a multi into it myself, because I do think the 350 million downloads will come straight after it. I also think that during the Kefla celebration, we will get the links update. Because the links update has some co-op and some versus missions that you can click into, I think that has to drop before the 350 million downloads, because that's when it's going to be implemented. I also think that this means that Global is going to have more... Global and JP are going to have more dual celebrations, because I can't see them really doing it maybe 2 to 3 times a year. But that could happen. But I also want to look slightly past this, because for Global, it's a very busy period from the anniversary to the download celebration. So I want to look at last year's download celebration. So we had the 2 new units, the Gohan and the Android 16. Then we have the physical Vegeta, who was the Saiyan Day celebration unit for that year. The AGL Gogeta was the dual celebration at the start of the year. The Goku was the 250 million download celebration unit. I'm not sure why the rest of the units were on there, so like Android 17, Bardock, and the Tech Vegito were all on there. I think I'd say that the Ultimate Gohans were on there just because it's a Gohan banner, but it is looking quite. This banner does look a lot better. We also have to remember that we get the 3+1, so I'm also going to go into what I speculate the 350 million download banner is going to look like. So we're going to get the new unit and the new banner unit, so that's the first two. Then we're going to get the 300 million download unit, which is the AGL Gohan. I believe that what they're going to do is they're always going to bring back the previous one, and I also think that we're going to get the Goku, because I have a feeling that that's how they're going to do it for this one. They're going to have, so that's going to be the first 4 units. Then the Super Saiyan 2 Goku from the Dual Celebration at the start of the year. The transforming one, they go Super Saiyan 3. The reason why I say this is that Goku and the Vegeta came out around the same time as the AGL Gogeta did. So that's why I think that they're going to take this slot in this one. I think the future Gohan, future Gohan that transforms into the Super Saiyan Future Gohan is going to be on the banner because he came back on JP for the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. Now we do not have that banner and we cannot get that banner back, but I do suspect that that's when he's going to come back, just because otherwise he's thrown out and we have no idea when he's going to come back. Now the reason why I think Bardock is going to come back is because he is this year's Saiyan Day, and we saw with the previous slide that the Vegeta from the 2019 Saiyan Day was on the 300 million download, so I do think that this could happen. Now the future Trunks, the transforming one, I do know that the Gohan and the future Trunks were on the anniversary banners, but I do think they're going to come back because with dual celebrations, when it's Super and Extreme, they do tend to do stuff like this. So I can see them coming back, or the Broly and the Gogeta. I also think that Piccolo is going to come back. Once again, he hasn't been back many times, and I do think that it would be a good time for him to come back. It would also make the Super banner look quite appealing to a lot of people. I do also, in the final unit, because with an LR banner they tend to have 10 BTSRs, I believe it's going to be the Super Saiyan, well apparently I'll put Super Saiyan Gohan, the future, the physical one. I don't know if this is going to happen. This could literally be any unit, but I'm not sure how they're going to play it out myself. I wonder if you can hear those sirens. Oh well, carrying on. So I do think that all the way down to Bardock is more than likely going to happen. The Trunks, Piccolo, and the future Gohan are all questionable. I don't know if they are, but they could. And that's just me speculating what could be and what would make the banner more enticing. So now we're going to move on to the Extreme banner. So we get the Cell and the Cell Juniors. These are the 2 new units. So we also got the Transforming Boo, who I can't remember when he came out on Global, but the Broly, who is the counterpart to the Gogeta, the Frieza, who's the counterpart to the Goku Black, the EZA Goku Black, the Rose, who is the counterpart to the Vegito, and the 2 Cells. So the problem with extreme type banners is we don't get anywhere near as many of these as we do with super type units, and I think that's quite a bit of a problem. Like, these units are a lot older. Oh, they're roughly the same, but I do think that the Transforming Boo is probably one of the worst, because a lot of the other ones have EZAs that fix them up. So yeah, I had to think about this one a little bit more, but what I think could happen for this banner is, so we get the 2 new units, the featured LR and the new banner unit. So the 300 million download, which is the LR cell, the 250, which is the tech freezer. I believe that Android 13 could come. The problem is, if the Kefla does, he could be replaced by another unit. The biggest problem with the extreme units is that they don't bring out enough. I also think that this is when they're going to bring back SDR Cooler. So he, like Future Gohan, has been thrown into limbo. We don't know when they're going to come back, if they don't come back now. And I think that Cooler on a 3+1 banner is very appealing to a lot of people, especially with the Links update and the fact that he is the transformation boost lead. I believe that the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, the tech one, is going to come back for the same reason I think that the in transforming Goku is. They're going to come back because they were in the same time slot as the Gogeta and those Broly, and because they were on the banner last year, I think that they could come back this year. The AGL transforming Zamasu will be on it if the future Trunks is. Once again, this just comes down to whether or not they bring them back so soon. They could, but I don't know. So the in Goku Black Rose, this is one of the ones that I'm entirely not sure about. I think that they're going to bring back the units that have come out within the last 2 years, and this is the problem with extreme units. They have such a big gap in between, so we don't actually know. And finally, I believe the Metal Cooler will be coming back. The one that transforms into the giant form without actually having that in the name. Just because I don't think I've seen him for quite a while. Like, I don't think I've seen him since the Cooler banner. He might not. This is the biggest problem. So I do think that the Super banner is going to be a lot more realistic. This banner is, I'm not sure, basically. But my final thoughts is that Kefla is a good unit herself, with a decent roster. But she is a very, and for all we know, with it being in between the two, we might get some discounts. I don't know if this is going to happen, but we got it with Beerus, but they also made the Beerus banner worse. So I don't know how that's going to play out. And we can't forget that the 350 million download will be a 3+1. Or I believe all dual celebrations are a 3+1. And this is a lot more value for a free-to-play player. You're basically getting an extra 50 stones for 150 stones that you spent. We will not get tickets for this. I don't believe that we've ever gotten tickets for the 350 million download for the download celebrations, just because JP doesn't get it, so therefore I don't think we will get it, and I don't think they would allow the games to have a same time celebration with Global getting better tickets. The banners will be different, that's a guarantee. JP banner will be a lot better, but I don't think that they'll allow it to be that we get an extra 13 units for every 3 multis, as opposed to JP only getting 10. And so the Dokkan Fest banners will be better because they have Dokkan Fest exclusives. These are units that cannot be just gotten on any banner. These are the red coin units, and they will always be slightly better because they're a lot harder to get. The Super type is more than likely going to have majority of the units. I honestly believe that only 3 of those units might not be on there, but I believe the rest are guaranteed. But I could be wrong. I mean, I did think that the Cooler was going to be on the Beerus banner, but we don't talk about that one. And due to the lack of extreme units, they could have them. They could have better ones. They could have worse ones. They could have the transforming Boo back. They could have full power freezer. It also depends on what saga they want to do. Like if they do go to GT, I could see them putting on the Omega Shenrons, the Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas. If it is Boo Saga, then I could see them putting on Kid Boos, Buhan. Like there's a lot that could happen. The problem is that we don't actually know. I'm personally only going to be doing one multi. I would recommend that if you do summon on the spanner, do not do more than 1 or 2 multis. The download celebration is the one that I would save for because it's so close. The Kefla banner is good, but once again, I wouldn't put more than 1 or 2 in it. Just because if you're free to play, you get more value when you're getting an extra summon every 3. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy. Let me know if you're going to summon. And if you do summon before you've watched this, let me know what you've pulled. Anyway, thank you very much, and see y'all.